Okay, today is the big day, and the lift is, one leg is standing, 12 feet tall in the air. And who's that stranger on the lift?
Hey, lift day.
All right, so we got one leg up with the old tractor. That went up pretty well. And I'm here to tell you that's heavy. All right, so there's one piece of the lift is now standing. We got to go on and lift number 2. All right, I got to cut this off. Okay, just drilled the one hole with my brand new Bauer drill hammer, 11 amp hammer. Drilled through that like nothing and broke through the bottom of the concrete at a little over 7 inches. So over 7 inches of concrete. That's awesome. 4,000 pound concrete PSI. Yep. All right, that's good. That's good. Don't tighten it no more. All right, we should call this two old dudes in a tractor.
I was thinking the same thing earlier. 2 old dudes in a tractor.
Yes, sir. Oh, them suckers are tall, man. That's 12 foot of steel right there. Now, once that's up, swing them around into position. Square them off as best we can. And then we'll we'll drill the holes after that top piece is where it needs to be. I just found those pulleys up on the top were damaged. Somebody beat the shit out of one of the pulleys over powder coat on the axle, dinged the pulley all up, and the pulley wouldn't turn. I had to take that whole top of that damn thing off, pull it all apart, and fix it. And the company did call right back when I called them. So the service has been excellent. So anyway, that's as far as we've gotten so far today. That one's got one drill, one bolt in it. Pretty good, pretty good. All right, that's it for now. That's the dangerous parts out of the way. Yeah, and babies are up there. All right, more to come. All right, it's day 2. We got the first pole is installed. We put the overhead bar on just with bolts in it last night to get the general vicinity of the second post over there. We just pulled out the cable and the hose. We drilled the rest of the 4 extra holes, torqued them down, put 2 shims on each side on this side. Torqued them down to 120 pounds, 25, whatever it was. So now we got to lift these pistons up. That's where it locks into that lock right there that my hand's in front of. And then we got to take some more measurements now between the floor and that base of that second post. Get that exactly where it needs to be and get it square. And then drill the holes. And that one will be mounted. And then it's time to run cables, hydraulic lines, and lines in overhead, and the safety switch go on that bar up above. So if the roof of a vehicle hits that, it shuts the lift off. You don't really need that, but I got it. I'm going to put it in. All right, so I'll be back later with more. Moving along. It's going pretty good. Okay, it's Friday afternoon, about 3:30-ish. Just got done installing the Advantage lift, 10,000 pound, 2 clear floor post. Everything went quite well. We double and triple checked everything. The instructions that come with this, I hate to say it, but they're basically, other than giving you general dimensions, not very good. But a little bit of common sense, and you can figure it out. It's not that hard. Everything works fine. I'm going to take you up this ladder and show you a picture of the cables and the hydraulic hose. because they don't show you that. So I'm going to cut this off for a second, climb the ladder, and I'll show you. And I'll show you where the safety limit switch is also. So I'll be back in a second after I climb the ladder. All right, I'm up here at the top of the lift. You can see the hydraulic hose goes through this little bracket, and your cables run through on both sides, and the cables are another story. And over here, I don't know if you can see it, but that pulley right in there, somebody somewhere in China beat the shit out of it with a hammer to get it over the big glob of powder coat, and it was frozen completely. So I had to take the whole top of this lift off, get the pulley off, clean the axle with some sandpaper, filed the burrs from where the hammer was whacking on the pulley, or the sheave, whatever you want to call it. Got that working. And that wire right there you see coming out, going over the top of the lift, that is for the safety switch. And basically that little switch, when you take the cover off, you'll see 4 brass screws inside. The 2 screws to the center are the closed screws. So when you hit them with a continuity meter, you'll get continuity. And when you push up on the button, it shuts those 2 wires off. And then we're going to demonstrate how that works. And then in a minute, I'm going to go down and show you inside the switch just how easy that was to hook that up. And then over there, I don't know if it's showing up, I got that cable coming out with a big knot in it, going through a hole through the lift, so nobody can pull on that cable because there's no clamping device on the top of that switch, which I can't see it from here, to keep it from pulling out. So I did that. And I have old Marky G hit the power button, and I'm going to show you how this works. It's going to shut the machine off. All right, hit it. So as that goes up, it kills it. Every time it goes up, it kills the motor. All right, that's good. All right, I'm going to crawl back down, and I'm going to show you how I hook that wire inside. Super simple. Be right back. They really don't show you any of this stuff. Okay, down here is the wire. I took the excess wire, just made a loop, shoved it behind the motor. This is the emergency shutoff switch or safety switch, whatever you want to call it. All this wire does comes in this box. This is your switch to make the motor go. You got one switch coming off the bottom to this side, and then the wire on this side. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm not looking through the camera. This wire here normally jumps over to here, where this other wire nut is. Just cut this wire, connect one end to this blue wire on this particular cable, connect the other end of the black wire to the brown wire, and as long as that switch is in a normally closed position, when you push this button, the lift operates. That's simple. There's really not much to it. Unless you're one of those people that has to call a professional to have everything done for you, it's not a whole lot to this lift. It's really not. It's common sense. And a 220, 240 volt wiring, there's nothing to it. So very happy with it. The people at Advantage Lift have been great to deal with. They actually answer the phone. They actually call you back, and they actually want to know if you're happy. So it's been a good experience. We spent a ton of time getting our measurements just right, installing these upright poles and drilling the holes and shimming them out. This side here went in perfectly. Oh, another thing I'll tell you about on this motor. I've seen some people shimming their motors out because they're running this cable through the backside and bringing it over here to this port, which has the little red plug in it that you take out. You can take this plug out with the Allen wrench right here. That plug was on this side. I just took the plug out from this side, put it on the other side, take this elbow that comes in the kit, put it in on this side. This here to here is a pass-through. It's the same. Then you run the hose they give you down, makes a nice curve, goes into the lift, and bypasses all that noise going behind the motor. So that was easy fix. That's, again, just common sense. And it works great. And when you're putting these together, you want to check every single nut and bolt on this thing, because almost every single one of them were loose. These stop bolts down here were just finger tight, all of them. Tighten them all up. You want to come in down here on the bottom and grease your pins and grease your arms so they go super smooth. These are like butter. Then you want to come in here where I don't have a light to show you, where that goes up and down. And you want to get your cables fairly tight. Oh yeah, there's your light. And we got this where it's going up, where you hear pretty much just one big click. So both sides of these locks, that's what these are over here. Those are locks. They grab in here, so when you're done lifting, you let the lift down to engage in these locks. And you're not just depending on the hydraulic pressure. And then when you want to lift your vehicle down, you go up, release the locks, which is this handle here. And that goes through the cable up over the top of the lift and pulls the stops out on both sides. So that works out really well. What else?
Those cables on. That's how you do that.
These cables, they don't really show you. You take them up, they got to go up. That one comes from that side, goes all the way up and over and down. And then you got to put it through that hole in the back, which you can't really see back there. And in order to get to it, you have to lift this arm up, way up past this, so you can get your hand just barely in this little tight space. Of course, this won't be here, so you have more room. And a 27 millimeter crow's foot wrench would be perfect. We did it with an 1 1/8 wrench and a 27 millimeter socket. And then put some little Loctite on your nuts so they don't come loose. And this is where you set your timing on the lift so you get the clicks all about the same time. That was important. Again, checked all your nuts and bolts. After you get your floor where it needs to be, before we drilled holes for that lift over there, we installed this top bar going across because there's really not much room for play up there. The bolts have to go through 2 holes on each side that hold that big piece of steel. So if your floor's off, there's no way that's going to go on. So we got that before we drilled and remeasured and made sure everything was dead nuts on before we bolted that down. And then when we were happy with that, we came back and I torqued these all down to 125 foot-pounds. Worked out really good. And we've got the extra adjustable lift arms on here. And I would actually show you lifting up my truck, but we've been 4 days here without sunshine. And this whole place runs off solar power and a battery bank, and my batteries are getting low. As you can see, I got all my lights on, but the lift works fantastic. Again, the user's manual they give you really is, the first one they sent was all in metric, which is useless to me. And the second one is a whole bunch of pages that don't tell you a whole lot of anything. But if you got a little common sense and you're used to doing all your own DIY stuff, there's really nothing to it. I had to go buy another ladder, a 10-foot ladder, which I needed anyway. And I bought a big 16-pound, 12-amp hammer jack, or hammer, either one, hammer drill, yeah, that's what I meant to say. And we drilled those holes right through a piece of cake. We hit gravel at 7.5 inches. The drill broke through at 7.5 inches. We were down to gravel, so that's 7.5 inches of 4,000 PSI concrete. Plenty. So anyway, that's it. You'll see more in some coming videos when I get the truck up on here. And for today, and I'm still debating what I'm going to do, this cable that came with this, I got this coming right into a 10 AWG wire with a 30 amp breaker. And it's kind of working just like this. So what I think I'm going to do is figure out exactly what I need to do to get some conduit up to here. And then shoot it over to the top of the lift and run it back down over there. But for now, I just have it plugged in right here. And then when I don't need it, just unplug it and hang it up over here on the wall. I don't lose my little screws. So that worked out pretty good. All right, well, there's the update on the lift. That's the Advantage lift. 10,000 pound, 2-post lift. That is, in my eyes, better constructed quality than my bend pack I had in Florida. I think it's very well thought out. Everything works smooth as silk on it. They even, which you don't see a lot of, these support arms here have a piece of steel welded in. That's fantastic. You normally only see that on super heavy duty lifts, so that's just great all the way around. All right, I'm gonna cut this off. We've been working on this about 4.5, 5 hours a day, and it's done. All right, I hope that helps somebody. I got a bunch of other pictures and some other shots of us doing this. But it's in, it's operational. So that's it, we're done. Thanks for watching.